Achievement of Objectivity with First Language or L1. Under the language awareness pedagogy, it is argued that the use of the first language actually allows the learners to look at the phenomena of language objectively. So they are able to step back and see what is the function of language as such, what is the impact of certain words, and how does the language actually function in society. Now, this awareness of language itself as a phenomena, as a tool, or as a medium allows the learner to look at language by decontextualizing it from its immediate context. Now, what does that mean? This means that the learners are then able to look at this whole aspect of language, decontextualizing it from or standing apart from the given context and trying to understand what does the language actually do in society, how does it work, and by thinking about how does it work in society, it compares the first language with the second language. Now, the learners obviously do not know how the language functions in the second language which they are learning, but they certainly do know how their first language works within their own context. By comparing these two languages, they are able to understand by developing certain hypotheses, by developing certain assumptions, by generalizing how the rules in terms of the functioning of the language from the first language to the second language. So they try to understand not just about the form of the language, but how does actually language function and what are the minute differences between similar words. So this detachment or this standing apart from language and looking at how does it work, how does it work is similar to the first language or slightly different to the first language enables the learners to understand how do the languages actually operate in society. And this allows them to know how or what they can do with the language. How can they perform the functions? How can they communicate the kind of meaning they want to communicate? How can language be manipulated? It enables them to interpret more carefully the language that is coming to them and to express carefully, choosing the verb between the words, between certain grammatical structures in saying what they want to say. Because now they're thinking about the consequences of their language use also. Now, what does this all do? This assists in developing a certain kind of sensitivity around languages. Now they know that a certain inflection in language, certain change in the intonation of the same word, like saying thank you or saying thank you or saying things like this, how can the same phrase that is thank you can actually be used sarcastically, or it can be used with genuine gratitude, or it can be used just to show disfavor. So this sensitivity allows them to understand how does the language actually work and then respond to it beyond just functional level and at a deeper level of understanding and communication. Now, Hawkins argues that sensitivity is a step towards functioning of languages across cultures. Now, the interesting thing about the use of the first language when we are talking about the second language or the functioning of the second language is that learners, while they use their first language, they manipulate their first language, yet they have never been actually thinking about it as such. So, this awareness or this sensitivity about language use makes them better communicators, not just in the second language, which is the goal of their learning, but also their first language. So they now understand how even their first language works. So one cannot overstate the importance of the first language use in understanding how the second language actually works in society and developing a certain kind of sensitivity or awareness towards it.